Now that the Crunchyroll Awards are finally said and done, and we have all of our winners chosen, we finally get to stop hearing people talk about what they think the best insert whatever category here is. And with that, I thought that we could move on back to enjoying the stuff that's coming out, instead of all the petty drama of people being like, my series is better than yours. But of course, that's not exactly what happened. So if you're living under a rock, or, you don't give a shit about awards, which kudos to you, because they really don't matter at the end of the day, I'm gonna let you know that, to nobody's surprise, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 kinda swept. I think by the end of the awards, it ended up winning about 9, including Anime of the Year, which, if you know me, I believe that that's well deserved. But what's really strange here is that while Season 2 was running, I thought that we all agreed this is great, and maybe we should give Jujutsu Kaisen a lot more love and respect, because damn, it felt like every week was exciting. However, after the Crunchyroll Awards, it seemed there had been a slight paradigm shift in, I guess, the communal brain of anime fans. And now people are saying that Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty much a fraud of anime. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different from the rest. That's right, this video is actually not scripted for once. It took us like fucking 12 videos to actually have me rant about something, but we're here. And of course it had to be about Jujutsu Kaisen. Yes, I know, I'm very annoying, but whatever. Today, I just kind of want to talk about what people are saying they see in terms of problems with the series, and I want to address my opinions on them. Not that it matters, okay? It's for me, but if you agree, that'd be cool. So I do want to hear you guys in the comments below, especially for this video, because I genuinely want to see where people are at, and if this is just getting hate because it's the cool thing to do right now. So let's just kind of jump right into it. Now, to begin here, I want to kind of set the stage on the problems that people have with the series, because there aren't too many, but the ones that I am seeing are like prevalent in every discussion that people have about it. And that is, for one, that Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty much made up of just fights. The other thing is that characters die and they have really no reason to. It's all for shock value, and they never really live up to the expectations of the readers and watchers. And lastly, and the most egregious of the three, in my opinion, is that Jujutsu Kaisen has no story. Now, in terms of the just fight thing, I do understand. Jujutsu Kaisen is extremely reliant and is extremely heavy-handed on the action. Why that's a problem, I'm not too sure. It's literally a battle shonen, so that's kind of like the equivalent of you watching an MMA fight and being like, wow, there's literally too much fighting here. Imagine watching a romance anime and being like, there's too much romance here. You get what I'm saying? So that issue, I do believe, is kind of just a dumb one, especially because it does seem like everyone who's saying this are the same people that would say that Dragon Ball is an OG and deserves a bunch of respect, even though that series is also just fights. On to the second point about characters just dying for shock value, this kind of made sense, and I do see where people are coming from. Yes, characters like Nobara and Nanami are very cool, and they were very awesome and seemed very important. So the fact that they're just kind of offed is kind of upsetting. But the thing is that Jujutsu Kaisen never set this up to be a happy series. As a matter of fact, we are told time and time again that people are going to die. People do die. And there's really not much you can do about it. Yuji even gets told really early on that his idea of just saving people and giving them proper deaths is dumb and unrealistic. So I think if you're going into this thinking like, oh, my characters have to have these big emotional deaths, it just doesn't make sense, because that's not how life actually works. People lose people, and there doesn't need to be some big climactic moment. Sometimes someone just loses somebody. They have to deal with it. That's what this story is about. This story is about dealing with loss and continuing to push forward for a better reason. Why did we forget this? I mean, literally when Mahito kills Nanami and Yuji has his little breakdown, Todo tells him that, yeah, they're going to die, but you cannot look for meaning in it. You have to keep fighting. And he does that. So why are we acting like this is a flaw and not what the series is trying to tell us? Ugh. Anyway, let's finish this up by talking about the no story comment, because I think, again, as I mentioned before, this is the most egregious and harmful to the franchise. Saying Jujutsu Kaisen has no story is just a blatant lie. Just because we go from big action set piece to big action set piece and a lot of characters aren't super developed doesn't mean that there isn't a story, a thread that goes throughout the whole thing. Kind of going back to the death thing, the idea of the series is that there are generational problems that have to be fixed through generations of people. Gojo's whole character is him basically saying, even though I'm the strongest, I cannot fit society. So I am going to help train the future generation so that they can eventually fit society. And if they can't, they could train the future generation and fit society. You get what I'm saying? The idea of Jujutsu Kaisen is just to create a better future for those to come. Even villains like Geto had that same exact mindset. He wanted to get rid of curses. That was his whole thing, is that he wanted to get rid of curses so people didn't have to worry. And the fastest way to do that was to get rid of humans, because we are the ones that create curses. So even though he was doing something evil, he had the greater purpose of humanity in mind. What confuses me is that everyone will look at Eren for doing the same exact thing and say he's the greatest character ever written, but then look at Geto and be like, what a wasted character, such a waste of potential. Like, no, this was a realistic take. It was a man who did everything he could to see his ideals through, but unfortunately, that's just not how life works. It doesn't matter how bad you want something. This is real. So again, to say there's really no story is just stupid. And honestly, if you don't know how to read or watch anime, you can just say that. Sorry, I'm getting a little heated, and really there's not much else to say. I just kind of wanted to come on here and quickly address those few things because I think it's so upsetting that we are overshadowing the win that Jujutsu Kaisen pulled in for the greater anime community by saying that we let this like fraud up on this stage and gave it a bunch of roses. Let Jujutsu Kaisen get its roses, because Gege Akutami, as much as the jokes go around about how much he hates his characters and hates his series, clearly loves shonen, anime, and manga. And it shows through and through. All the characters, all the fights, everything is so inspired by what they grew up viewing that it just feels like a love letter to the genre. So for everybody who's saying it's just fights, yeah, it's a majority fights. The whole idea is that fights have to be cool because it is a shonen. With that being said, I'm gonna stop here because I think I spoke my piece. You guys let me know in the comment section below, do you actually hate Jujutsu Kaisen, or do you think that people are just hating on it because it's getting really big and popular? Anyway, that's today's video. Thank you all for listening if you listened this far, and until next time, love you all and goodbye.